Hello, I'm so happy to welcome you to my new Tuesday inner world where I finally figured out a great way for me to do this is by actually reading and sharing some of your stories and some of your questions, some of your reflections. And that's what I'll be doing now. I've asked some of the people who are supporting this community financially, sometimes called paid subscribers. So I feel self conscious about that because I don't want anybody to feel left out. But as things are developing, I'm realizing that the community is going to depend on that now that I'm working really full time at that. So what I'm doing on Tuesdays is asking uh, the paid subscribers to send in their questions and reflections I could share with everybody. So that's how I've decided to do this. As I hear from more and more of you, this idea of me having Zooms and putting all of my efforts into Zooms right here through um, my subscribers on Substack, I realize too that will probably be a benefit for people who are financially supporting this work, which is exciting to me. To tell you the truth, I feel self-conscious about it, but one gathering of my Zooms once a year costs people $80. And so I think this is amazing. One of the reasons I want to come here is for $8 a month. You know, if you can take part in all these ways to be part of and build this community with me. So I wasn't planning to say all that right now, but I want to be transparent about what is developing here because I can see there's a big need for and desire for and interest in building a community. So I'm going to share on Tuesdays things that people have sent in that they've agreed to let me share. I'm not going to use names. Here's one person that wrote me, one woman who wrote me yesterday that in response to one of my posts that I thought was so poignant. And I know that so many of you feel the same way she does. So I asked her if I could share this because the reason why I'm bringing up Zooms and a community and finding ways for bringing people together is the answer to a lot of the questions seems in my mind to be gathering with other women because, and men too, I'm not leaving you out. I might have different groups for different segments, but the idea that happens when you meet other women, hear other women, just listen to other women with the same struggles who you can see are amazing women, it really helps change your own self-concepts and make you feel not so alone. It makes you think about yourself and your life differently. So this woman says she wasn't diagnosed. She says, I wasn't diagnosed until 47. Now at 51, I still don't really feel like I've got a handle on any of it. I feel deviant even in the world of women with ADHD because even as I read everything, try to embrace my differences, try to accept myself, I'm really still just squashing that sin at the core deep down, trying to hide it still. I still feel there are ways, quote, I should be, should show up as a wife, a mother, a friend, that I feel that over and over again. And I still try to hide those things behind attempts to fix it, whatever it was this time. I don't know where the line is between ADHD and childhood trauma and general stubbornness and fear of discomfort. And so I don't know which things to address in which ways. This is such a complicated package to unpack and sort out. So most of all, I hope you find a therapist who understands ADHD, respects women with ADHD, can help sort these things out. Very difficult to sort out trauma from ADHD. ADHD itself is like having little traumas all the time, especially when you don't understand your experience. You're lost in this world of feeling assaulted by your environment. So that's why I say listening to other women and sharing with other women and having a group of your own, having a therapist or a coach that understands ADHD in women really well in a nuanced way is really going to make a huge difference. You're also at your age maybe starting to experience perimenopause, which can really confuse you even more when your hormones start to go crazy. You don't know, especially if you haven't been diagnosed all your life, you're not sure what is what. So again, you can't do this alone is one of my big messages. You know, nothing more painful than finally getting diagnosed and still feel different than other women with ADHD, still feel like the core. I quoted Carol Gilligan early on in my Substack here. That's this feeling that differences are deviance, and deviance are sin, is what she said, I think. And such a painful way to go through life, feeling that you're wrong. Not just that you have problems, not just you're messy, for instance, but you are a mess, and that means you're bad. So all the ways that our self-image gets conflated with these ADHD difficulties is really what we're trying to sort out. So I really hope you will find a group or find a therapist to talk to about all this, or come to one of my Zooms when I started here. Um, this idea that you feel like you're failing over and over again in every role you have is something so common for women with ADHD who weren't diagnosed till later. It's because understandable. You have no idea how to sort out and how to devise a narrative that was whole and that could see yourself as a whole person, your difficulties and your strengths, and that none of it was about your core sense of self. That you're just, many women come in, they're just trying to get fixed, get over who they are. So I really admire you for sharing this and hope that you'll find some help here. So thank you for that. Here's another letter from someone who wants to know a lot of things, when I'm really grateful that she sent us some questions. I'm going to do this every week. So she wants to know what radical acceptance looks like for someone who struggles daily. I mean, that's such a lifelong issue, radical acceptance. And it's more than just acceptance. It's radical acceptance because it's looking at life squarely in the face. It's looking at what really is. I wish I had a different kind of brain. I wish I wasn't disorganized. I wish I can feel bad about it. It can hurt. But like I said in one of my blogs, that pain becomes suffering when you don't accept what is. So we can't really make changes. We can't face what has to be done until we really embrace the idea that we do have the kind of brain that makes life on a daily basis hard. You will struggle daily with ADHD. It doesn't mean you have to struggle with the pain of hating yourself and pushing yourself away and pushing away this fact that you do have what we call ADHD, which is just a difficult brain to manage. So once you accept that and you see that as a separate track than you as your core sense of self, that's going to be the beginning of radical acceptance. Doesn't mean resignation, doesn't mean giving in. It means that's the first time where you can actually see that's not me as a person. That's just my difficulties. Like anything you might face in life of a physical, neurobiological nature, that's not who you are. That's stuff to deal with. So I think I'll end today, and I will look forward to picking this up again next Tuesday in the next segment of The Inner World. So thanks for listening.